I built 4 level 1 heroes for a Nimble RPG campaign, and it only took me 12 minutes. D&D can't do that. Hey there, adventurers. I'm Judd, and this is Short Rest Studios, where we believe fun builds community. Let's jump right into the Nimble character creation process and stick around because we're going to break down exactly what makes Nimble's system so intuitive and so much quicker while still leaving room for tactical and narrative depth. First, I made a dwarf berserker and named him Hrothgar in honor of our Short Rest Studios mascot, Hrothgar the Belligerent. He's a dwarf, so size medium, and he loses 1 speed, giving him 5, but he gets +2 max hit dice. I'll write that down because my mom always said I'd forget my head if it wasn't attached. A dwarf can also take 1 more wound than other ancestries. He's slow, but he's tough. Here are his languages and then stats. I'm using Nimble's standard array for the 4 stats, +2, +2, 0, -1. A berserker's key stats are strength and dex, so those get the +2s. I'll place the others however I want. Hit die is a d12, 20 HP, and I'll mark plus and minus saves. Wow, no math. He's got no armor, so that and initiative are equal to dex. I'll mark skills based on the appropriate stats, and then his 4 skill points will boost might, so he's really strong, and influence to make him intimidating. The starting gear option gives Hrothgar a battle axe, meat rations, and a 50-foot rope. Special abilities, Rage. I'll note that he gets Fury dice equal to the key stat of my choice. Those get added to his attack damage. And he gets that all you got? He can use Fury dice to reduce damage done to him, and 10 plus strength inventory slots. Now for our human commander. Key stats are strength and intelligence, but I needed some practice erasing, so I wrote it wrong the first time. Hit dice, HP, etc. Our commander gets +1 to initiative and all skills because there has to be some benefit to being human, I guess. Saves and starting gear. Rusty Mail gives our commander +6 total armor. She speaks common and, oh yeah, she needs a name. Using this handy table in the back of the Nimble Heroes book, we'll call her Elspeth. Now we'll fill in Elspeth's skills, remembering to add 1 to everything. She has the coordinated strike ability, which gives her and an ally a couple of free attacks, and I'll write in inventory slots and then skill points because I like doing things out of order. Let's boost her might, influence, and perception. How about an elf shadowmancer next? We'll use that name table and call him Shade. Elves get a +1 to speed, and the shadowmancer's key stats are dex and int. You've seen hit dice, HP, and blah blah blah. After starting gear, he gets +4 armor because of his adventurer's garb, and then for skills, we'll bump his arcana. He is a magic user after all. Insight and stealth. After languages, he gets the cantrip Shadow Blast, which deals out 1d12 +2 damage, as well as the ability to summon shadow minions, which is really what makes a shadowmancer a shadowmancer. Now let's inject some ironic cuteness and make a bun cheat. We'll name her Fluffy, because why not? She's smaller than average, and her key stats are logically dex and intelligence. Hit dice, HP, saves, starting gear. Her cheap hides give her an additional +3 to her armor. She has the bunny legs ability, which gives her free movement in the right circumstances. And as a cheat, she gets sneak attack, which deals extra damage when she crits, plus vicious opportunist, which allows her to change her attack roll when her opponent is distracted. Now for skills, we want Fluffy to be as stealthy as she can be, plus we'll bump her perception and finesse. With 9 inventory slots and language, Fluffy is done, and so is our party. So that's it. You would for sure still be doing math right now if you were rolling up just a single 5e character. But I don't know, maybe you like the math. Let me know in the comments. There are 3 key factors that make character creation in Nimble so fast. Nimble is obviously a rules-light system. The first iteration of it was literally a set of house rules created to streamline 5e. This, though, is a full-fledged game system that strips everything down to only the tools you need. It's presented in the most straightforward, economical way possible. I mean, if you want a full page or 2 on how to make a character, the core rules has it, but the Heroes book also has this nifty little outline and inside the front cover. If you're familiar with the system and you've chosen your class and ancestry already, you need less than 5 minutes to put a character together. The first factor is the intuitive and elegant design of the system itself. Each class is presented on just a few beautifully illustrated, tightly organized pages. A couple paragraphs of flavor text instead of pages of needless filler are followed by all the details on how to build and advance your character. Right under the class title, you've got a simple list of what it adds to the character sheet. Key stats so you know which to apply your high numbers to, your hit dice, starting HP, high and low saves, the types of armor and weapons you can use, and starting gear. You can choose either this starting gear list or 50 gold pieces to start at level 1. Below that are the special abilities you get at each level, and that includes spells for the casters in the party. The core rules include about 4 pages of ancestries. One page has the standard fantasy species like human, halfling, elf, and dwarf. The second includes exotic ancestries like the bun, orcs, dragonborn, etc. Each one is a short paragraph followed by a description of the special abilities that come with that ancestry. Now, I didn't include backgrounds and adventuring motivations in my initial builds because I feel like session 0 is the best place for those. These initial steps everyone could conceivably do on their own so that the bones of their characters are already in place. Then at session 0, you, the GM, share the world and any story elements you want to, and then players can choose backgrounds and motivations and flesh out backstories. The acts of real character creation that make the mechanical character building we've already done come to life. You'll probably even have time to get the game started even if you do the actual building at session 0. Backgrounds are super straightforward, just like everything else. They provide some narrative and mechanical features. Adventuring motivations are strictly narrative. Second, the filler has truly been stripped away. You see that in the class and background descriptions and a ton of other facets of the game. But when it comes to character building, Nimble's stats are the proof that's in the pudding. Instead of rolling for stats, you've got 3 arrays to choose from: standard, balanced, and min-max. And listen, I know it feels like heresy to not roll dice, but hear me out. Rolling for stats is fun until you roll bad. That's why 5e even offers a standard array for ability scores. But the real trick is this. Nimble performs an appendectomy on the vestigial organs known as ability scores. We are left with the only part we actually use, the modifier. See, 5e confuses new players all the time until they figure out that the score means nothing, and sometimes this can even give experienced players a pause. Just the other night, I asked a player to write down their character info for me on a little card I keep handy for reference. They had to ask me whether I wanted the score or the modifier. Not a huge thing. It just points to the fact that the ability score is just hanging there being annoying. In Nimble, you can apply your modifiers however you want, but it's probably best practice to apply the highest modifiers to your key stats. For example, in the case of the cheat, those would be dexterity and intelligence. Then those modifiers apply to your skills. Then you get 4 skill points to boost those. It's incredibly simple and gets rid of at least 25% of the advanced math you have to do, or that D&D Beyond has to do for you to build a 5e character. You don't need massive system architecture to do the math when the game system does it for you. Finally, stat bonuses are only tied to class. This may seem like a small or even insignificant factor when we're talking about the ease and speed of character building. And it's true that on its own, it really doesn't have that big an impact. In fact, it's really just part of the stripping down of the system. But I think this is the cornerstone of Nimble's ability to retain narrative and tactical depth while giving us a streamlined rule set. Let me explain by taking a look at the party we built earlier.
No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
I used Nimble's standard stat array for every character, +2, +2, 0, -1. So everyone starts with the same numbers. The only part of the creation process that affects those numbers is the particular class's key stats. Hrothgar is a berserker, so his key stats are strength and dex, meaning that's where I want to put my +2 bonuses. The fact that Hrothgar is a dwarf has no bearing on those stats, but that doesn't mean it has no impact at all. Dwarves in Nimble have the stout feature, which means they have +2 max hit dice, +1 max wounds, and -1 speed. That means Hrothgar is a bit slower than other species, but he's also tougher. But strength, dex, intelligence, and will, even his hit points, are strictly determined by the fact that he's a berserker. Any other changes will come through gameplay and advancement. Elspeth gets +1 to initiative and skills for being a human, but her stats, especially strength and intelligence, are strictly determined by her commander class. As a Shadowmancer, Shade is smart and dexterous. As an elf, he gets advantage on initiative and +1 speed. And Fluffy the Cheat is again smart and dexterous. Her bunny rabbit nature just gives her free movement before she interposes or after she defends. The ancestry features are fun, add tactical abilities, and give you great storytelling flavor. It's your move, D&D. Adventurers, what do you think? Drop me a comment, and if you dig this kind of content, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And I'd really appreciate it if you'd consider supporting the channel by joining the Adventurers Guild at patreon.com/shortreststudios or by hitting the join button right under this video. Character creation is just one way Nimble puts the fun back in your players' hands. Check out this video for more ways, and I'll see you next time on Short Rest Studios.